Thank you for tuning in to Flamingo Fight Talk. I'm your host today, Kelby Cedarquist, and with me on the other side of the big, great, beautiful state of Florida, Derek Schramm.
Yo, thank you for having me. It's been so long since I've been on my own podcast. I think it's been a while since you've been on, though. I saw those clips come out earlier this week. Good to be
Yeah,
back. How are you doing up there in Tennessee?
everything's going good. It's starting to cool down a little. We got down to low 60s, in the mid
Mm-hmm.
80s as a high, so taking a little break from the 90s. So I can't complain.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, it's been wicked hot down here,
Yeah,
obviously. All over the, world has been wicked hot. Like, Europe was in the hundreds.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's wild everywhere, so. But it's been a while, buddy. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. We'll try to get back into it, do our usual. I know we've talked before. We're just going to start doing just a schedule of only doing Sunday recordings. We'll do the pre-fight and post-fight all on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get them released when we can, but right now we're just getting back into it. We're gonna have a little fun with this one.
I think
Had some
we
good
might try
UFC.
to keep it a little more like this, a little more just freestyle and casual instead of a structured thing.
Yeah,
Just, hopefully to get on every week, but just, we'll talk about what we want to talk about because it is going to be rough the rest of this year. Which is
yeah.
funny because I know we pretty much stopped off when there was a bunch to talk about, and we're coming back when there's nothing to talk about, which is the Flamingo Fight Talk way.
That's how we like to do it. Yeah, when there's boring fights, we love to watch them. When they're fun and electric, we want to complain about them. That's the Flamingo Fight Talk way.
That's the Flamingo Fight Talk way.
Yeah, the last couple weeks though, I mean, been some lackluster cards, lackluster fights. A couple been solid good fights, but overall the card quality, nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get kind of a run through a lot of great fighters in the past couple months. So
Yeah.
we're starting to see that overcomer. We started getting into more of the big name fighters that you guys are usually want to see. Kind of like in 2 weeks from now, we got Islam coming back.
Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure.
Next week we got one of those stars coming through that a lot of people are talking about heavily. Killian
Sulkin?
Salkid. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's
against
gonna be
Gamrot.
good. Yeah,
That's gonna be
Gamrot's
a
good.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a really good fight. It's really gonna show if Salkid is actually worthy of a top 5
Yeah, for
placement
sure.
and can really contend for the title. It's great positioning. I think UFC made a great fight with this one. Never underestimate Gamrot on anything. I'm trying to think what Gamrot's last fight was. Gamrot beat Oh yeah, yeah,
Von Ribovic.
yeah. He got the fight when then right before that he lost to Charles Oliveira
Mm-hmm.
by submission. But yeah, Gamrot too. He's another guy. If he gets another win here, I mean, you're starting to consider getting close to the title contention era too for him.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
mean,
not there yet.
Flyweights a
Don't
little
get me
weird
wrong.
right now. I don't think we were expecting Gaethje to get it back, but
Yeah,
I mean, I just looked at the media and the meta rankings there. So in the media rankings, both of them are doing a little bit better than the meta rankings. It's weird that we got to go like we always didn't like the rankings in the first place because there was always dumb stuff in there. And now it's like, okay, the media rankings are the old dumb rankings, but I don't know about the meta rankings. I know some people like them, but it's like, but why is he there? Apparently, it's
yeah.
statistical, but it just looks dumb. I don't think either's that great right now, but
That was actually one
I
of the
don't know.
few
Maybe I'm
questions I
thinking.
had written down. Are you preferring
But
the meta rankings or the
Gamrot's
media
at
rankings?
6. Yeah, Gamrot's at 6. Killen's at 9. So yeah, this is definitely the fight to see who in the top 10 is going to get moved up into the top 5 fights. Obviously we got a huge fight that just got announced. Oh, what's his name? Dan Hooker's fighting him. The guy coming
No.
in
Yeah,
from I think PFL.
yeah. He's been
What's his name?
uh,
Saladin Parnash.
my
But
birthday
yeah,
weekend. Thing. Oh, what were you saying?
go ahead.
Oh no, I'm saying that's on my birthday weekend. That's gonna be a great fight to watch on my birthday. It's gonna be. I love Dan Hooker fights, man. The Hangman, solid guy. Coming from the PFL, I mean, outside of that, we've had a lot of other things going on with the PFL too lately that you were texting me about. Jake Paul on the PFL and
Sorry, not from PFL. He was the KSW double champ. He was just on the MVP Rousey Carano card where he knocked out Kenny
That's
Cross.
where his name came from. Okay, he's on
Yeah,
MVP
no, the
promotions
guy's
or
wicked
was.
good prospect, but he hasn't beaten anyone yet. Obviously,
No.
that's the problem. Like he hasn't
Yeah.
fought top level competition. Absolutely not. But if you've been watching him, he has everything that you want to see, kind of like going into that. And against a guy like Dan Hooker, we're going to very quickly see if he just belongs in the top 10, and he very well might. But like Dan Hooker's going to be able to bring that, UFC pressure to him for sure.
Super experienced veteran Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's definitely had a. He was always the guy that we thought could get it done, but never could do it.
I think he was one of those guys that was coming up, and I think Poirier put the brakes on him.
Yeah.
Just,
But
yeah, I know. But Dan
overall,
Hooker's
great
good.
fighter.
He's kind of has that Kevin Holland in there,
Yeah.
where he just gets in there and fights too much, and
Yeah.
it's like, and we love him for it, but like, kind of one of those things like maybe a few less fights, a little more dialed in, and he could be a real because he's huge. He's a monster.
Yeah.
But if he just gets in there and goes crazy, then yeah, he's a beatable guy. Even though again, he's a tough fight out. But you said you got some topics for me. I know I've just been bouncing around from here to there. Not keeping you on your toes. But you know what? Let's start going through your topics. You said you got quite a few for me.
Yeah, I do. The first topic, you actually kind of mentioned it already. The whole meta versus media rankings.
Okay.
Overall, how do you feel about it? You already brought it up a little. You want to explain a bit more onto that?
So my thought on it was like, okay, why did the rankings need to get changed? I think let's
Yeah.
start there, right?
Yeah, that's a
So
good
the
point.
way they used to work is the media rankings. It was like it's selected media. I don't know who all was in it, but it was combat sports media. But it means some are boxing. I know there was some Mexican sports. It's a bunch of different media associations, and basically they have their electors which are on there, which are the people that make the rankings.
Yeah.
And some of them are way into the sport, and some of them do not follow the sport in a long time. But every week they got to put their rankings in, and that's why we had someone like Colby Covington, who, for like last 3 years was ranked 15th on the welterweight rankings, and he hadn't had a win in forever, and he hasn't fought in forever. And obviously, I know Colby's left the UFC now, but like that's like kind of one of those easy ones we can point to because it's the most recent. I'm not even trying to bully Colby. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was another one that was there for a long time, and you see that here and there. Like it's why like Alonzo Minfield got up to like the rank 15th in light heavyweight because it's like.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a guy that we know, and he has a 3-fight win streak. And because that division's so bad right now, we have no one else, no idea what to do with it. We're going to make him ranked, and
Yeah.
like that's kind of how. I mean, who is the light heavyweight 15th?
15th rank.
Alonzo Minfield's number 14 now. Muhammad
Moving up the
Saidov,
ranks.
I don't know who that is, but like you know what I mean. So like
Yeah.
that's why it's so weird like that, and it's needed to be changed for a long time because of that kind of stuff. So I think everyone was welcome it, but to me it's just like, okay, why have both? And I don't like the fact that there's both. Just make it one or make it the other. And it's just like, because basically it's like, what ends up happening is like, so the meta rankings are supposed to be all data driven, yada yada. There's some algorithm that decides it, which, good, sure, I'm fine with that. But when I get to see them side by side, and it's like, well, I like the media.
You're just old school. You just.
Give me one and just stick to it.
Yeah. No, I can't argue with the point of just specifically just having one ranking system and then just doubling down on and just have it that way. I understand why the UFC is putting both up right now to test the fields and see how it reacts with the masses of the people. It does seem overall good, but you definitely do see the complaints and cons from trying to do this AI type of thing. And
Yeah,
it's
well, and that's the thing. There's just a general anti-AI,
Yeah.
well, which that's not the type of show for it. But like, yeah,
No.
absolutely, people are entitled to their opinion. So like,
Yeah.
several people are against it. Some people are completely
Yeah.
for it. And it just like, and again, like, frankly, putting in a bunch of data and having it like rank stuff is like the type of like equations that That would be the type of stuff where it would be useful for, especially when we got like media that haven't watched a fight in 30 years deciding the rankings.
Yeah.
5 years, let's be nice. But like that's kind of like where it's like, okay, that makes sense. And again, it's really just like it's the fact that there's both. And let's pick a division.
What's
Welterweight? That's like the hottest division right now. So welterweight. All right. So Gary, Protes, Morales, Madalena, Bonfim is the meta rankings. The media rankings is Protes, Gary, Morales, Madalena, Brady. And it's like, and that's the thing, I like Sean Brady. I think he's actually one of my favorite fighters in that division. But, he just got stopped bad by Morales. And then, he did get the win back against Buckley. But, Buckley, where do they have him? They have him at 9 in the media, and where is he in Buckley 10 in the meta. So it's like they're pretty. I think actually welterweight is probably the one where it's like the most on point, except for Protes is the one with the big swing there, right? No, it's just a 1-2. But so sorry, I know I'm monologuing here, but so the meta rankings they have Ian Gary as number 1. In the media, they have Carlos Prates as number 1. Absolutely. Carlos Prates has a more fun, interesting style than Ian Gary. But Ian Gary's booked to fight the champion. Why is he not the number 1 contender? Because he literally is the number 1 contender. He has a booked fight against the champion.
Yeah.
And that's just where it's dumb. And you know what? That's where, the meta rankings have it right and the media rankings don't. And it's because they like Prates more than Gary.
Yeah.
Which I think most MMA fans like Prates more than Gary. That's not I don't think that's a hot take.
No. But Ian Gary's definitely popular to a point. He's definitely not a nobody by any means. But Prates overall, in comparison, is hotter.
Prates is cool.
Yeah.
He is just
he's got a swagger.
Yeah, he's just all swag, super cool guy. Ian Gary's, I'm not.
The UFC likes to have another Irish man come up and is actually doing stuff.
Yeah, they need a new Irish guy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Ian Gary, I don't think people can. It's funny, Ireland doesn't like Conor McGregor, but the UFC fans do. But Ireland does like Ian Gary, but the UFC fans don't.
He don't do F and nothing. Let's get into another topic. Another big bombshell, business bombshell, PFL and MVP landmark of merger. Mm-hmm. Dana White's claiming that the UFC operates in a whole other bleeping stratosphere. So Dana White's definitely not wanting it, doesn't care. Dana White never's cared about anything about Jake Paul. He wants Jake Paul to be eliminated from this earth. And then these two make it a merger. It's definitely kind of fun to see from a fan's perspective. I don't know. I don't know if it's how it's going to work out. To me, sometimes I feel like when you have a big merger like this, there is either a cash flow problem, B, you are just not doing well, or C, it's actually working out great for both of y'all, and you two actually made a great agreement to possibly put it up to another stratosphere for this promotion with PFL.
So honestly, the person that I think that's been breaking it down very well is Luke Thomas. So I'm going to kind of take from him a little bit here.
Shout out to Luke Thomas.
But it's public knowledge. PFL has been dying the last several years. You know what I mean? It is getting worse and worse. They bought Bellator and then had to release half the Bellator's roster because they didn't have enough fights for it. And they got rid of their old president because it wasn't doing good. They were struggling to find investors. They got their new guy in here. He seems to be, he did away with all the dumb, different regional stuff. It got a little bit better, some better fights. But they're still on ESPN. Who knows what ESPN's sport platform is? I don't even know. It's not ESPN Plus anymore. It's the other thing that's like $40. I don't know what PFL's on. I signed into ESPN Plus a couple weeks ago to watch a PFL thing, and I don't think I'm even paying for ESPN Plus anymore. So I don't know how I did that. But so that's just kind of what's going on with it. And if you've been paying attention recently, PFL, they actually kind of talk some crap on about ESPN as their broadcaster, saying they're not doing anything for the PFL, which means they're probably not re-signing with with ESPN if they're coming out and publicly saying that at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, what does all that mean? Yeah, I think PFL, they've been, they're desperate to get some things changed. They need to shake it up just to keep alive. Meanwhile, they are struggling to find a TV deal. Now,
Yeah, that's a big
Jake
thing.
Paul on their side, they're actually doing pretty good with their stuff. They got the women's boxing game, which is on lock. They are the number one women's boxing promotion. MVP is. They did their first MMA event, which was fun. It did good numbers. People enjoyed it for the most part. It was all squash matches, but it was still good. But and Jake Paul, there's still some interest in him fighting the freak show fights. And he has that stuff going on for him. So they're kind of merging these things together. And now, what did their merger of PFL do? They got the PFL roster. So
Yes.
now MVP has the volume of a professional fight league.
Yes.
And I didn't even mean to do that intentionally, but like they have the volume,
That is funny.
the actual capacity now. Because before it was like, who can we grab? Who's in free agency? We got to hit Thunder now.
Yeah.
And they've been able to do that a few times. MVP, like say what you will about Jake Paul, he does actually understand the fight business. He knows how to draw a crowd. He knows how to promote.
Yeah.
And we might not see Jake Paul actually ever fight again, or maybe
Yeah.
only one more to like use his name to bring in people for his show. But we might just see him start playing the promoter game
Yes.
now, and not actually involved in the fights now, and him and his business partner.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I think it's a great merger for them. And yeah, it's not going to be competition for the UFC, but it is, in
No.
fact, revitalized competition to the UFC. It's the same, there's now two major combat sports leagues in the United States, and that is UFC, as it's been for over 25 years, and the new one's MVP.
Yeah.
They're now number 2.
I love competition. Always brings out better ideas and better situations with the UFC, because as much as Dana White and what he says that they're not paying attention, they're totally paying attention exactly what's happening over there.
Yeah.
Those people are always scouting for new fighters too. So you have to pay attention to these other leagues just off the basis of just scouting for new fighters. Jake Paul, I think he's going to fight one more time.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that. I think, kind of like what you're saying, it's going to be one of those he's going to headline a fight. It's going to be like his last one, but he's going to try to get more eyes to the PFL MVP crossover. Or merger, I should say, not crossover.
I think it might last a little bit longer, because I do think Conor McGregor is going to try to box Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Obviously, McGregor has to come back from his injury, and he does have the one fight left on UFC, which I believe they're projecting early. Is it end of the year, or is it early 2027?
He said he guaranteed a 2027 comeback. I do know that.
I don't put any stock in what he says,
Yeah.
but it doesn't seem to be a terrible injury. He should be able to come back.
Yeah. It'll most likely be against Max Holloway is what they're all saying.
Yeah,
That will change, I bet. I bet it'll end up being Ian Gary or something crazy. I don't know what.
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk more about Ian Gary. I'm more interested in him than McGregor, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't care about McGregor's comeback, I think, already. So
Yeah.
but
Next.
he most likely will do one. Who knows against who? I think Max Holloway will take the money and do it. And then yeah, he's probably going to try to go on Netflix and box Jake Paul, and then maybe try to box Nate Diaz, and then that's probably going to be it for him. But like, that's probably, again, I know I just said, hey, play a drinking game every time Derek says probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the most likely situation, I think, from that. So we might get a Jake Paul trying to boost his MVP league with that. But again, now that MVP has a roster of the PFL, does the UFC try to do more to lock down McGregor longer? Like, for example, they could offer him crappy fights, to make McGregor ride out that contract longer. You know what I mean? It's possible, because again, quality-wise, we're not getting Mystic Mac's long gone. You know what I mean? We don't have the quality. We just have the shell of the name left, and it's going to sell. It's going to sell. I'm not saying it won't, but
Yep.
yeah.
McGregor, Cowboy too. I don't know, but
No.
in other news, somewhat UFC news, former UFC light heavyweight title challenger and current Broadcast analysis: Anthony Smith was arrested in Sarpy County, Nebraska, facing
Yeah.
three severe felony charges following a domestic incident with his wife. According to Sarpy County Attorney's Office, the incident began Sunday's night at a concert during the Grenadiers Festival, where Smith was removed after an altercation, and Smith threatened to kill his wife, and she did not leave with him. Then he forcibly pushed her into their vehicle. That's pretty much all we got with that.
We got more. He tried to run her over.
I did not see that part.
Yeah, no. So he tried to run her over. The charges are domestic assault with heavy bodily injury. I don't think she is injured, but there's another like threatening one. Terroristic threat is one. The other ones is 3 felonies.
Yes.
He originally, like, the police did not go in to arrest him because he was threatening to kill himself, and he eventually turned himself over to police. And I believe yesterday his wife did come out with a statement, basically, and basically kind of saying he loves me, never hurt me. I called the police to help him from protect him from himself. He was clearly having a mental lapse.
Yeah.
It's very tragic. Anthony Smith, for everything we know publicly for a long time, has been kind of an upstanding guy. And, whenever these things happen with domestic violence, it's despicable. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking when it's, the guys that, like, you really don't, see it coming from. And, you can't, especially with a guy like Anthony Smith's career who's never been in that type of trouble, and to happen after his career, especially with as long as a career and like some of the beatdowns he's taken, you have to ask yourself about CTE.
Yeah.
And what the effects of it. Like, this guy's, remember, this is a guy that had to pick up his teeth after getting them punched out by Glover Teixeira. He has been beaten down. His last several fights, he was getting booed out because he'd get hit and just would cover up, like, and be unable to defend himself. Like, every time. It was kind of looking like Tony Ferguson, how Cowboy, like, they would start. Yeah, he's been beaten a lot. He's had a long career, and it's really sad what he's going through. And I know he has kids and all that, so I know they're asking for privacy. Hopefully, he gets the help and everyone stays safe.
Yeah. One thing that you said with the CTE, his wife did release a statement on social media. In quotations, she said, "They made a mental health struggle into something it wasn't. I am safe and always was safe. He would never hurt me, ever. I called for help to protect him from himself."
Yeah, that I kind of mentioned that. That's what she
Yeah.
says. Obviously, he
Interesting.
can.
Yeah.
Well, he can go to jail for 30 years with what they have charged on him right now. It's
Yeah.
He's the state is accusing him of some pretty terrible stuff. Trying to run over your wife with a car. That's a pretty terrible thing.
No, that's freaking crazy. Yeah. That's something we have definitely have already been seeing, especially with boxers, the whole CT conversation, and now we're definitely seeing it more and more often with UFC fighters with the
We got to
CTA.
talk about Poirier too. It was nowhere near the same
Yeah.
level, but him with him, it looks like it's more. He might have some issues with alcohol,
Yeah.
which he's come out and said, and blah blah blah. And, I'm not going to pile on Poirier. That was another one where I saw that. I'm like, damn, like Poirier trying to fight with the cops saying slurs. That's not a good look for him, especially just retired. And it's like that one stinks. But it's like, yeah, the cage fighter from Louisiana that's been through a lot of fights. It's like, not surprised he has some demons he needs to work through, especially because it looks like he's kind of, And I think this is like the type of thing with what you're saying. We see it with boxers. We see it with fighters in general. A lot of these guys seem to really like, the type of person to go and cage fight is a unique type of person.
Yes.
And it does seem to, a lot of them seem to be able to stay on the good side while they're focused up and training and living the healthy life. But as soon as they are no longer have something to train for, they just go wild, it seems like. And it's sad. I wish, frankly, I wish the UFC would do more for their retired fighters to try to watch after their health, especially, Yeah, guys like Anthony Smith that work on the booth, that work for the UFC still, even though he's not in there. Especially guys like Dustin Poirier, who's given years. B.J. Penn, Chuck Liddell, famously, these guys that have struggled. And I shouldn't say Chuck Liddell. He has not. I don't believe he's had legal troubles like the others, but obviously the physical issues. Let me clarify that really quick.
Yeah, he got a glass jaw at the end of his career too. It was bad. You started noticing it there. Anytime a fighter gets glass jaw, you really should start retiring. And I'm glad Cody Garbrandt's definitely doing that with one of his most recent fights we all just saw recently with him. And it's like, and I was talking to you before, it's time for him to retire. As much as I hate saying, as one of my favorite fighters of all time, but you don't want to see somebody lose their life over a game at the end of
Exactly.
it.
It looks like some of the guys, like, did you see that? I saw this post on Twitter.
Yeah.
See that Jessica Andrade is Uber Eats DoorDashing?
No, like wait, really?
Yeah, to pay bills, she's having to DoorDash.
Jessica Andrade is Uber eating, or Uber door. She's delivering food.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, I saw it on social media. If I'm wrong, my bad. But I saw it a couple times.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, and I think Ariel talked to her, but it's like, yeah, that's messed up. That's a former champion having to, I don't know if she was bad for money. I don't know if she, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of one of those things where, Dana White out here saying, MVP's nothing. We're in a different stratosphere. I'm like, well, you're not paying your athletes in a different stratosphere. That's why MVP was able to put on the Francis Ngannou, Gina Carano card a couple months ago.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's transition off to the CT stuff. It's always sad to talk about, but it does need to be being brought up and talked about.
We should talk about it.
Yeah.
We watched these guys fight for years, and we'll move on. But fans should look at what you've watched. Like it would be bold for people like me and you who have watched Anthony Smith, Dustin Poirier fight for 10 years, and the minute they have an issue, once they retire, be like, oh no, I don't want to hear anything about that. No,
it's crazy.
That's not how fandom works.
No, it's crazy. Once you start seeing some of these fighters go down these roads where they're just having problems with mental health and stuff, and it's very, very highly likely is due to the fight game and all the stress that comes with it, with an inside and outside of the ring and practice and financial decisions and paying off coaches and blah, 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 doing all that, and then promotions and trying to do everything and then have a family life too. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely always try to, instead of like getting them to always fight, sometimes fans should put a little bit more pressure on these fighters to be like, it's okay to retire and do something else and get into coaching and having your second career start. You never, fighting is never going to be your long time career. As much as I hate saying it out loud, but you ain't going to do it when you're 65. You're just not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing, and that's where it's like, guys like DC Bisping, they've been able to get jobs on commentary. Another guy that, frankly, I'm going to worry about is going to be Volk and Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Both of those guys are I know we're trying to get off it, but you look at Volk, he does his whole cooking with Volk thing on social media.
Yeah.
That's good. He has countless of these guys have gyms. I know Josh Thompson, he always talks, I think that was his big thing was he got into real estate and opening gyms. Ali Quinta famously, got really big into real estate, Cowboy does the P3 and has all those other dirt biking, all that type of endorsements and stuff like that. So so many other guys do charity works and stuff like that. Poirier, and so many others. So it's like life after fighting. One more thing. Dominic Cruz famously, when he was away for injury, he's like, after the second time he blew his ACL, he said I had to take time in my time off away from the sport to just okay, what am I going to do if I can't fight, if I can't come back because, his injuries, and that's where he got into the commentary and all this stuff, and that's why he was so able to transition easily. And I think it's a major thing. I think, frankly, as fans, we don't have to just be slavish to and devoted to a fighter just because we like them fighting for once, but like if we like things that people do, especially after the careers, you should support them. Like
Yeah.
you know,
That's one thing I definitely disagree with Sean Strickland, what he said recently on a podcast. He's like, you get all these fighters that are like not like men or anything because they start doing YouTube stuff and podcasting and they start getting into
he
these
says
other
on a
things.
podcast.
Hmm? Yes,
He says
exactly.
on a
Yeah.
podcast.
Oh, he says, well, he's doing a YouTube podcast that goes on Spotify and Apple and whatever, whatnot. And it's okay to do other things. I mean, these fighters literally have never really gotten to do other stuff like go to college and learn other things. It's a lot. It's a hard. You gotta learn something new and do something. And it's fun to see him do something that they like to do, like Max Holloway with his Twitch gaming. Fun to do, like you're saying with Max Holloway. That's something he's going and he's thriving at it. And he's getting a lot of numbers. Rampage Jackson, he does the live streaming.
The streaming.
Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah.
But hey, notice we're all saying like all these guys we're pointing out are all champions.
Yeah. That's true.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like what's King Green going to do?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like somebody like King.
And he's still a beloved fighter, and like that's kind of the thing we're talking. Like again, I don't want to keep dwelling on it, but like that is the thing. Like if you've been a fan of someone's fighting career and you like what they're doing outside their career, keep supporting them.
Amen to that. Coming up, we got a big bang-over fight. Ian Gary against Islam Makhachev. I mean, everybody knows Makhachev is a master of like body locks and stays away from the traditional wrestling style of double legs and stuff. Great with judo trips and dragging opponents on the ground and with suffocating top control, like we've seen with his not ex-coach, but his coach Habib. And then Ian Gary, super tall guy, 6'3", 74-inch reach, big reach advantage against him. His game definitely relies on consistent stance switching, lateral footwork, precise long-range kickboxing, and frustrate pressure fighters. So it's very, very two different style of fights two different style of fighters that we're going to see in this upcoming fight. I always lean towards the grappler in these fights, but Ian Gary is definitely very unique in the sense of how much bigger he is than Islam. So it's going to be kind of fun to see how he could use that to his advantage and keep him at distance and wear him down. And Ian Gary can grapple a little too. It's something he's been able to do. That's something. I was kind of curious to see somebody with a good mix like that go up against Islam Makhachev. I'm leaning towards Islam still, but how do you feel?
I'm definitely leaning towards Islam. He is the pound for pound best fighter.
Yeah.
After all, he's one of those guys. Like, hey, until I see someone that can beat him, I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Arman Sarukian, I would have liked. Ilya Topuria, I would have liked. Though I think we saw what it might have happened.
Yeah.
And then now we gotta think of this fight. I think JDM is a more physical presence than Ian Gary is. So I think physicality-wise, Islam fighting the bigger fighter, he shouldn't have as much of a problem with Ian Gary as JDM. Though these guys have very different games.
Yeah.
Ian Gary, like you said, the stance switching, it's really a jab and kick game. He is great at it. It's not the same game as Strickland, but he has a defensive first game.
Yes.
He just shuts down things. He takes away things. So yeah, if he just commits to a full defense and keeps Islam at range, doesn't get crowded and all that, he might be able to steal rounds from Islam. It's going to be a boring, slow fight, but I think Islam might really have to make it more of a physical match and really kind of power through. I think Gary does have I favor Islam to win. I think Gary does have a very reasonable path to victory, though he has to play a perfect game.
Yeah.
And he has to play his game. I think it can work, but, it's going to be hard to do. And that's basically keeping him on the end and outstriking him and pointing him and denying the takedowns.
Yep. Yeah. We're definitely going to get more into this fight coming up a couple weeks early on it, but everybody's talking about this fight, man. I mean, it's going to be fun to see. But
I will
definitely
say I am excited for that co-main as well. The women's strawweight title getting back into circulation. Mackenzie Dern taking on Jillian Robertson.
Yeah.
And Jillian Robertson's kind of one of those people that she's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Let me pull.
Well, we just watched her win not too long. I mean, when she came back and beat up Limos, I think,
Hmm.
and she was very, very dominant. And I remember texting you or talking to you about it, and I was like,
Yeah.
that was a one heck of a performance by Robertson. Wow. And now we get to see her go up for the women's strawweight
Yeah.
against Mackenzie
Yeah. So
Dern. Yeah,
she's been in the UFC since 2017. She's had 20 fights in the UFC.
yeah.
Jillian Robertson. So she's been
Wow.
around for a while, and she's on this a 5-fight win streak.
Yeah, it's
Poliana
something
Viana,
crazy.
Michelle Waterson Gomez, Luana Pinheiro, Marina Rodriguez, Amanda Lemos, and like those aren't the best names. I mean, good names, especially Amanda Lemos, but like it's not like the best. Yada yada, but let's be honest, Mackenzie Dern isn't the best champion either. We
Yeah.
both know that Weili Zhang was the dominator of this division, and before that Rose was, and obviously it bounced around some of the other people there. But with both of them really kind of not involved in the division anymore, it really has left this opening for other people to get up, and Mackenzie Dern's the first one to claim it, obviously, with that fight against Virna. And so, yeah, Jillian Robertson, she has developed a great grappling game, competent on the feet, good pressure, smart decision making. So it's like she's developed a well-disciplined game, but I'm not sure if it's going to be able to survive, frankly, just the physicality, grit, and obviously amazing jiu-jitsu game of Mackenzie Dern, because I don't think Mackenzie Dern doesn't get put away easily, and she's going to be dangerous for 25 minutes with her grappling, especially when Robertson's keys to victory normally involve takedowns.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I mean, it's kind of interesting because we watched Mackenzie Dern lose to Lamos in her last loss, and
Mm-hmm.
Robertson just beat her. And Robertson like dismantled her whole game in that fight.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning towards Robertson to get the victory on this one, just solely based off of that fact.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Dern. I got to go with the champ still. But yeah, no, Robertson's absolutely a contender there. I think it's a live fight.
yeah, oh yeah, 100%. I don't even know what the betting odds on it is, but I bet it's pretty split. If I had to take a wild guess.
I just exited out of it. I think Robertson's a like plus 120
Yeah,
underdog. McKenzie like a plus 140 favorite, something like that. It's
yeah,
pretty
that
close.
makes sense.
All right, we got any other topics?
No, I don't have anything else written down. That's pretty much it on
Let's talk
topics.
about some of the last couple fights then.
Let's pull them up.
So yesterday we had. Let me just pull it up on this actually.
Yeah, we had good old Medic against Rodriguez.
Yeah, what a card! Tons of finishes.
Yeah, yeah, literally. What was it? The first or last six fights, all of them were finishes except one.
Yeah, except Alexander Rakic and
Yeah,
Marcin Tagura. Except the heavyweight fight.
yeah. Who could have guessed that one?
It doesn't matter if Alexander Rakic moved up to heavyweight. He's now going to fight like a heavyweight and take all. No, he played it safe. That was a good fight. Yeah, no, just countless
Yeah, countless.
first round finish for lots of finishes on this card. Yeah, to me, it's the top three that are definitely the newsworthy ones. Unless you got anything else to talk about.
Yeah, top one, the main fight. Medic
30
came
seconds is
in.
all it took.
Yeah, got the knockout. Connected on 11 out of 14 punches. Rodriguez threw three. Hit him once. I mean, at least he got one lick in, I guess.
Yeah,
He did it.
and yeah, that's the thing. Like, look at who like Diamond's so weird. Like, you go look at his last couple fights. So going back to like 2024, he loses against Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah.
He beats Alex Morono. In 2025, he beats Santiago Ponzibio and then decisions Kevin Holland. Okay, so that's kind of good.
Yeah.
And now he goes in against Eros Medic and gets starched in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Medic, on the other hand, like he's been rocking pretty good. What's he on? I'm pulling up Sherdog real quick. Yeah, he's on a 4-fight win streak. Gilbert Urbina, Muslim Salikov, Jeff Neal, and Daniel Rodriguez all KOs, TKOs. Like, and he's lost a couple times. Jalen Turner, Orobai. The one I don't know is that Punhali Soriano. I don't know that guy. He got knocked out in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
In that one. But, like, Medic is absolutely a guy that's kind of going in And, he's either finishing you or he's getting finished, but he's putting it together, you gotta say.
Yeah, no, Erzmek's definitely putting it together. He keeps this up, man. It's going to work out for him in the long run.
Yeah, so he's currently ranked 14 in the media rankings is what I'm going to go with. And D-Rod was above him at 13, so he's probably going to move up a little bit. He's still going to be in the 15. Above him is Michael Venom Page, Mike Malott, and Kamaru Usman. Usman just lost at middleweight in his last fight, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's... And, that's another thing with the media rankings. Okay, hold on 1 second. Meta rankings. Is Usman still in the meta rankings? Yes, he is. He's number 9 in the meta rankings at welterweight. It's not his division anymore. See, this is my problem with the 2 rankings. We have 2 rankings and I like Kamaru Usman. I like him, but oh my gosh, I'm heated now. When was his last fight at welterweight?
People are not liking him after that last fight because of him looking at DC all crazy.
Yeah, no, he lost that fight for sure.
I'm drawing a blank.
He was thinking.
Who did he beat?
He lost.
Not a lot. I mean, who did he lose to? Sorry. Why am I drawing a blank? It just happened too.
Okay, sure, dog. This is why I use Tapology, because you're being too slow. He just lost to Dricus.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost that fight every round except maybe one you can argue with, but
I think
him look.
Yeah, so his last win was Buckley.
Yeah.
He
looked great in the Buckley fight.
He lost to Leon twice. He loses to Shamaev. He beats Buckley. He loses to Dricus. That's been his post-championship career. He shouldn't be in the top 10 at welterweight. He's left the division twice since losing his belt, and then he fought Buckley, and he made Buckley look foolish, and that was sad because Buckley looked good before it, and he's looked good after that, and just the guy can't stop a takedown, even though Kamaru can't shoot. No offense to Kamaru, he can't shoot. He doesn't have the knees for it, but somehow Buckley can still get taken down by that.
We could do a whole conversation on Buckley.
Yeah,
but
it just I like Buckley, but just such
Buckley
Brady just beat him. Yeah, Sean Brady just beat Buckley.
Yeah. Buckley is one of those guys that I had very high hopes for, especially after that, one of the most famous knockouts in the history of knockouts in all of combat sports. And it's
so
wow.
Buckley was one of those guys that obviously he came in, he has that big highlight, and he kind of was like that action fighter fun. He kind of went up and down. It's okay, but then he really started putting that together. He started looking like he was always big, but he started looking shredded coming in there. The fun personality, and just being able to rock out and have fun fights, looking really good. And then Kamaru, and that's when the Usman fight came. Oh man, Kamaru Usman, Buckley, this is going to be good. Unfortunately, I picked Buckley 100%. I didn't think Usman had it because all those guys were going in at the time. This was the surge of the contenders at welterweight. And I was Buckley's time to shine. And then, Usman just bending over at the hip and rushing him down to the cage and just controlling him. Oh my God. And I'm imagine what happens if someone else. And Sean Brady did the same thing after Sean Brady got starched by Michael Morales.
Yeah.
So Buckley versus Protez, Buckley versus Morales is going to be fun because they're going to be stand-up. But if you can wrestle, take the guy down.
Yeah, that's the one fun thing about UFC. At any given night, anybody can lose and just look absolutely horrible. But there is definitely levels to this game.
Yeah, just for sure.
Who we have in the next co-main?
Recent fights happen. So Medic, Jan Blachowicz, I felt bad with that.
Yeah,
because I feel like Blachowicz was winning that round. He definitely hurt Sterling, but Navajo Sterling just
overwhelmed him.
Heat-seeking missile and knocked out Polish Power. And I'm oh, damn. Jan Blachowicz, we're talking about, I don't think he's been through a lot of damage, but he's had a long career now. It's again, a guy like that, you're not going to win the belt again. Might as well. You're a former champ. Might as well retire. Navajo Sterling, he's up to 11-0 now. So he is in being ranked guy, so he might be getting up in that upper light heavyweight rankings here soon. And Alexander Rakic did look good at heavyweight against Marcin Tybura.
Yeah.
Obviously got tired. I wish Rakic put on the pressure to, get a knockout, but, obviously he was just feeling it out at the heavyweight division. I think it's been a while since he's gotten a win, too. Let me look at that. Didn't win in 2025. Lost to Yuri and Ankalaev in 2024. Lost to Blachowicz in 2022. Didn't even find 2023. Yeah, his last one was against Thiago Santos in 2021. So it's been a while since he's had a win. So good for him in a new division. But yeah, and what was? Oh yeah, the Ankalaev Guskov fight sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you let's go back to the Usman but talk about the other side of it. What do you feel like for Dricus now at in middleweight? Do you think you put him against Strickland? Do you put him in a rematch against Chimaev? What do we do with Imavov? What's the next fight for I think they're talking Strickland Chimaev too as the next fight. Who knows?
Dricus is in a very, very weird spot. I would never put him up against Hamzat again. Like, I'm sorry.
That's the problem because he beat the champion twice.
Yeah.
But the other guy that was the champion in between blanked him.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's very, very weird for that top three right there in the middleweight with Strickland, Hamzat, and Dricus.
Do you do Dricus Pfeiffer? Do you do Dricus and Joe Pfeiffer?
That's what I'm thinking. I think Dricus needs to fight somebody below him at this point. He needs to build up a little bit, even though it sounds horrible being the second rank overall. I was thinking Joe Pfeiffer. Fun fight.
Imavov should get the next fight against Strickland.
Yeah.
He's been the guy waiting. He deserves the fight.
Yeah.
Doesn't Strickland have the win over Imavov?
I think so. I did know that Pfeiffer beat the Stylebender recently.
That was a while ago.
But that was his last fight, I think, too.
Yeah, no, so Strickland beat Imavov in 2023.
Yeah.
Since then, I believe he beat Chris Curtis, he beat Roman Dolidze, he beat Jared Cannonier, he beat Brendan Allen, he beat Izzy, and he beat Caio Barallo. So yeah, Imavov's been putting it together for sure. The guy. You can put Barallo. I can't pronounce it. Caio against Dricus. That would be fun too, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go down Caio. You can go down Joe.
Action fight.
Yeah. And Joe just needs to fight again. I mean, like you said, that's been a long time. That was like March of last year. It's been over for Pfeiffer. It's been like over a year since he's fought.
Yeah. Does he have a fight booked?
I'm trying to think. Did he get injured? He looked good in that last fight. I don't remember him sustaining an injury.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Next fight, Joe Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Joe Pfeiffer.
He fought back in March. He beat Izzy. And yeah, nothing so far. Oh, I do see something on Reddit that him and Caio Barallo, which I think they were going to fight, but Barallo's out for rib injury, according to Reddit. So obviously, put in Dricus.
Yeah.
For sure.
We can definitely do that. That'd be a bad idea right there.
What fights are coming up?
In the far future?
No, like immediately, besides alright, Gamrot versus Sal Kid. We also got Billy Quarantillo versus Diego Ferreira. That's going to be a fun co-main.
Yes.
One of my favorite fighters who should also retire, Darren the Damage Elkins, is there, and we talked about her. Amanda Lemos is also on that card coming up this weekend.
Yeah, she's fighting up against Alexia, and she's been on a tear lately. I mean, she's on she's a pretty good streak going on right now.
Honestly, that at the UFC Fight Night after 3:30, I'm going to like that one. It's at 4 p.m., which I always like the earlier cards. But we got Anthony Hernandez getting back in there, taking on Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun fight. You also got Roman Dolidze versus Rainer DeRitter at light heavyweight. So good to get DeRitter back in there. You have Spivak versus Petrino at heavyweight. What's Petrino up to? Why am I knowing him? Is he on a win streak? Is that it? Yeah, he's on a 3-fight win streak at heavyweight since he's moved up to heavyweight against Austin Lane, Thomas Peterson, and Steven Asplund. So yeah, obviously Sergey Spivak much higher up the food chain than the guys that Petrino's been going about recently.
How about that Umar fight against Song Yadong coming up after that?
Ooh, that's a good fight. Song Yadong is the exact type of guy that can give Umar trouble.
Yes.
I think we talked about this last time. Yadong is, oh my god, sorry, just look at the other two fights on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yan Xiaonan versus Denise Gomez is always, I like Yan Xiaonan, good one. But
Yeah.
Suma Derji versus Alex Perez, that might be a
That's gonna be
see ya.
that might be a fight of the night.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. I think both these guys are on losing streaks. No. Yeah, no, it was the draw last time they had because of the no contest. Yeah, but both these guys aren't doing great. Suma Derji should win it. And then there was Ray Saruya, who I like a lot on that card as well. Yeah, Umar's good. Umar should be able to beat Song Yadong. He needs to beat Song Yadong if he wants to get back into if he wants a title fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what's going on with Piotr Yan and Merab? When's that gonna...
I don't know. Yeah, think about Umar because Umar only losses to Merab, but Umar beat Davis and Figueiredo recently.
Yeah,
by decision. Yeah.
And I mean Sean O'Malley got his win against what's his name?
Not Merab.
At the White House.
Yeah.
Right?
My
hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's coming off the win there. Merab, obviously, I mean, Piotr Yan's the champion now. I like the rematch. But yeah, I mean, Sean O'Malley's ready to go. Sean, they can definitely put Sean back in the title fight now. They can put Umar in a, if he gets a win in the title fight. And Mario Batista, frankly, coming off Corey Sandhagen, he's making a case for himself there. So, if Umar beats Song, we have a very thorough line of, Piotr Yan, Merab at the top, and then you have Umar, O'Malley, Batista. Not necessarily in that order, but making up the rest of that. And then you got Sandhagen, Yadong, and the rest of them all below that.
Yeah.
Let me see if the meta rankings really changed it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too. Just pulled up meta.
Not really, same thing. And Ayman Zahabi, I would throw in that thing.
They have Sean O'Malley ranked one position higher in the meta.
Yeah, I would say the people to keep an eye on in that division coming up here are definitely going to be Peyton Talbot and Raul Rosas Jr. and Fareed Basharat in the immediate terms. Honey Barcelos is starting to make a bit of a run himself there too, and he does have a win over Talbot, so it might be time to get him up in that as well. Yeah, so you got Barcelos and Basharat kind of coming up. Zahabi got who's David Martinez? Why do I know? Yeah, he's the guy that just beat Marlon Vera and Rob Font. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good. I mean, bantamweight's always fun. We should do some of these keep it freestyle, but we should absolutely do some research and run through each of the divisions. But I think I've run out of things to talk about, buddy.
Yeah, I think this was a good pod. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube is what we're mainly staying on. Spotify, we might get back into Spotify, but for some reason, nobody was ever watching it. We'll get back into Spotify maybe once if we were to hit some type of, 5,000 milestone or something. But
if we get people commenting saying they want it on Spotify, we'll put it back on Spotify. But as long as it's just me and Kelby listening to it on Spotify, we're not going to put it on there for ourselves.
Yeah, it's literally like a 10,000 to 1 view ratio from YouTube to Spotify. It was something ridiculous. What else? Am I forgetting a platform? We do have an X. We don't really use it. If you do want to follow, you can You can follow us on X,
I use it to look up
Yeah.
stuff that's going on.
yeah, if you see it up there, you can follow it. But don't. We're not.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't use it.
Yeah. And if you guys really want to, you can send us an email at flamingofighttalks@gmail.com if you want to talk trash. If you send us an email, we will definitely bring up the email.
If you send us an email and we can read it on the show, we will read it on
Yes.
the show.
Yes. Indeed. If you don't want it read on the show, please state it.
All right.
All right.
Thank you for watching.
Yep.
And
Peace.
see ya.